Hi guys, hope you're well. Welcome to DOdaily, Thursday Thoughts, your questions and answers live. Hope you're having a great day. Hope you're enjoying the amazing sunshine out there. It's really, really nice now, so definitely worth getting out. Just got back from a run myself. Wanted to start today really by talking about that and why I really needed to go. I've had a bit of a frustrating day today. I've been really, really positive, been really sort of into the challenges I've set myself and really enjoying the running again. But today I felt a little bit of pain when I woke up this morning, maintained waking up early, ready to go out for a run. But I got up and I was really, really frustrated. I got a little bit of pain back. And I guess whilst I've got to take it easy and manage that pain and take the odd day off here and there or take some time off, it's just been really, really frustrating today. You know, I'm somebody who, when they says they're going to do something, throws themselves right into it. So it's really important for me right now. And I actually made the point to somebody the other day that whilst I don't want to beat myself up too much about things, if I am getting a little bit frustrated at small setbacks, it obviously means it's really important to me right now. So I just I've been feeling it today. You know, I've been a bit grumpy, I guess. You know, not in the best frame of mind, just because I couldn't keep to that routine. And that's sometimes why routine is so important about sticking to it. If I'd not been so bothered, I might not have realised that's getting to me. And eventually I've sort of brought myself around, gone out for a run, took it steady, tied it in with a job I needed to do as well, a bit of extra filming to share the DOdaily. So that's all a positive thing. And a great meeting as well about an upcoming event that we're running through the running community. So I'm actually feeling a lot better, of course. I've been out for a run. I've managed to enjoy the sunshine. It's a bit too hot, mind. Jumped in the shower and I'm ready to do DOdaily. So everything's back to normal. I'm going to treat myself to a little bit of something different to eat. You know, I've been hard at it with this health kick and trying to be really healthy. I've lost a lot of weight quickly. Again, something just jumped on the scales. I've actually lost a stone in 10 days. So I've worked really hard, you know, and I thought perhaps it's time just to treat myself that little bit, just to give me that impetus to go again tomorrow, you know, kick on, start again, you know. Hopefully I'll wake up, there'll be no pain. If there is pain, I'll have to sort of just get up, maintain that routine, but see what I can do with the running. Just like today, I've gone out, taken it easy, you know, took my time. It just made me realise how once you get your mind into something, once you really sort of determined to do it, that small setbacks can be huge setbacks. And I could have easily let this manifest and become something much bigger than it is. If I'd not got out there, again, I was debating whether to go, whether to squeeze this in before getting back to do the live video. But I did, got a 5K in, like I say, steady, but it was important to do that. And it's just important, isn't it, sometimes just to remember why you're doing things and what it is, and realise where you are. I'm doing a lot of things at the moment. I'm not drinking, I'm making the healthy changes with the food, I'm trying to get back into my running again. And it's just important for me to remember that whilst all that's great and it does all kind of tie in together, it's also important to just understand small achievements and realise you can't have everything at once sometimes. And I've just had to realise that a little bit today, you know, and perhaps ease up a little bit. Been building over the last few days. I've been trying to ignore it, but probably not the best thing to do. I've probably got to face it straight on and deal with it as it comes. So if I need a day or two off, then perhaps that's what I need to do. So whilst you're tackling all these things, whilst we're all doing different things, what I'm basically getting to is just keep evaluating what you're doing, keep looking at ways you can improve, you know, how one thing improves another. And if you don't do one thing, it doesn't have to have a knock-on to effect with everything. That's kind of what happened to me. I was starting to get stressed about, because I couldn't run, I was starting to get stressed about getting up early. I wanted to stay in bed. I wanted to eat different things, you know, and what I need to tell myself is to focus on each of those challenges individually. If I'm going to do them all together, I need to focus on them individually. That's what's got me to this point so far. So it's important for me to do that. Anyway, moving on to your questions. Just a few answers from the question I fired back at you last week. People didn't really want to commit themselves to that, which is fair enough, of course. Hannah sort of posed a question about trying to give up sweets. Perhaps done the trick a little bit this week. She messaged me at some point throughout the week and said she's doing 4 days. So just talking about it again is really important, I'm not saying she's taking on board any advice, but just putting it out there. And that's what I try to do with a lot of these challenges. And this is why I talk through DOdaily about what I'm doing. It's extra, as much as I'm trying to inspire others, it's extra inspiration for myself, just to keep me going. I don't want to tell anybody I've not done it. And like I say, Hannah got back and said she said she'd love to stop the sweets, but she said sort of a couple of days ago that had been 4 days, so she was doing well there. Hopefully she's been able to keep it up. Kay would love to give up the fizzy pop. She drinks a lot of Diet Coke. Again, she's on a bit of a health kick with me. She's doing really well with her running. It's a kind of go-to treat. So it's one of the big things I was struggling with. I never really drink fizzy pop, but when I cut the alcohol out, it was something I was reaching out for, probably just something to substitute it, when really it was probably doing me no good. So eventually I got that out as well. Hopefully Kay can keep working at the things she's doing and eliminate that as well. We drink a lot of juice. We've ordered a lot more juice from the shopping trip as well. So hopefully that can help us there. And Dawn says she wants to stop getting stressed and getting frustrated with things. Again, it's a difficult time. We all need that. We're all struggling at times. Like I said to you today, I try to be positive most days. I try to sort of come on here and express exactly the way I'm feeling, and most of the time I am. But the situation's difficult, and little things that get thrown up at us. So just keep working off the things we're suggesting. Keep working off the activity. Keep working off what others are doing, and believe me, you'll get there. If you want to, but if you want all of those things, you'll be able to do it. I guarantee you. It's just when it clicks. It's like anything. I've watched people in the past stop smoking after 40 years. They've tried hundreds of times, and then one day they just don't do it again. Just one day it just clicks. It's just about keep trying, keep giving it a go. Don't beat yourself up too much. I'm a fine one to talk after what I've been doing today, but already that was only this morning and I'm on top of it, and that's the point I was trying to make. Getting on to the actual questions that were posed this week. Thank you for those. The first question was from Davna. I've mentioned there that we've got an event for the Do Running community. What we're doing is creating a virtual half marathon in place of the Robin Hood half marathon. What would be here locally? It's not in place. It's just at the same time, just for those that have done all the training. Some of the guys had committed to run for a local mental health charity, Improving Lives Nottingham. So they didn't lose out too much, and the guys doing all the running, missing out on events has been a real big frustration. I've really sort of felt it from the guys. Lots of the comments and lots of the feeling coming back has been that they're really disappointed. So what we try to do is create an event, like I say, to run at the same time, same distance. It's a virtual event, but what we're trying to do is support it locally. So if you do want to get involved, please check that out. But Davna's training for that. And Davna's injured, very similar injury to myself, really, but she's injured at the moment. So she's planning on taking part in walking. And what she's saying is she's using a distance plan for running beginners to build up to the distance to walk. Is this a good approach? Well, to be honest, Davna, I think it's a fantastic approach. Completing anything is just about time on your feet at the end of the day. So I've noticed a lot more recently, even marathon runners are using walking as training. There's a new theory out there that just spending all that time, if you can spend that time on your feet, if you plan to run a marathon in 4 hours and you walk 4 hours, say you've got a slight knock or you feel a bit under the weather, apparently that's still great training. That's still really, really effective in doing the trick, because you're still spending that time. You're used to being out there for that long. Of course, you'll be running and it will be taking up a lot of energy, but hopefully you'll have done more sort of running to build around the injury and things like that. But in this case in particular, I think walking to a sort of running plan is fantastic. Ultimately, it's just going to be a case of being out there for a certain amount of time. And where walking kind of has slight benefits over running is you can quite easily stop, restart. You'll be looking at other things. You might be talking to people along the way. So it's all these things I've been saying in the last couple of weeks about sort of being distracted from the actual activity. It might just pass away a bit of time and you've not even realised it, just looking at sort of what's going by you in the world, or like say if there's somebody else walking with you, it's quite easily to sort of eat up all that time. But definitely if you're doing 5 miles on a plan this week, build up to 6, build up to 7, if you work off structure, that's a fantastic way to do it. When I'm training for an event, I don't always work to a training plan, although I have been sort of looking at that a bit more recently. Sometimes I just go out on feeling and just do it how I feel. I'll run as far as I feel like it on that day. I know I've got to run a certain amount, so as the time gets closer, that distance obviously increases and builds up. Sometimes if I work to a plan myself and I do get injured or ill, I get a bit disappointed. Like this morning, I like to be quite rigid in what I'm doing. So if I don't do what I'm doing on that day, it can kind of knock me for 6 and I can get completely distracted and end up sort of miles off track. So that's why I tend to just go out there and do what I feel like a lot of the time. So hopefully that answers that question, Davna. John asked a question following on from the conversation with Helen Hood on the Sunday Social a couple of weeks ago. I think he's asking for my personal opinion on this one. Basically, do you think Park Run will ever be the same again? Well, Helen sort of put it out there during the Sunday Social that Park Run won't start until it can be what it was before. There was a framework released by Park Run last week, which is available on their website and on the individual sort of Park Run websites, that explaining a couple of things that are going to change slightly and what they can work to in terms of coming back. It mainly revolves around the run brief being a little bit shorter and the barcode scanning, which is totally understandable. There's been talk of technology for a long time in Park Run, and Park Run have always been a little bit reluctant to use it, but perhaps going forward, it's the way to use it. But my personal feeling, John, is, to be honest, I don't think anything's ever going to be the same again. I think we've really got to accept that things are going to be different, whether it's going to the pub, whether it's going. I love football, and the one thing I'm really missing is football. So whether it's going to football stadiums, the experience in there, I think what we really need to do, and we're all a little bit guilty of hanging on in there for getting back to normal, when the reality is it's an horrible term now. I think everybody's sick of hearing it, but this whole new normal thing, there is going to be a new normal. Things are going to change. We all turned up at Park Run and ran up and hugged somebody we'd not seen for a while. That's what we do in the running community. Or we shake hands with people, and you congratulate people, and once they've finished or once they've achieved something. And I think that these things are going to be completely different now. I know at Collie Park Run, they've also got the bell. If you get a PB, you ring the bell and let everybody know, and there'll be a round of applause. Can we just go up and grab the bell now? Such a little thing that people don't think of. So I think ultimately, like Helen said, I don't think anything's going to change drastically, but I think everything's going to change, and getting back used to being around people is going to be the biggest thing. I'd love everybody just to sort of, not a massive hugger, I'm not a massive sort of touchy-feely person, but I'd love everybody just to sort of recongregate, hug, shake hands, when I go to the football, sing the song that the players come out to, and it's all. I get this. I get a feeling it's all going to be emotional stuff to start with, but we can't wait for that, and we've just got to keep working hard at what we're doing, keep the activity up. Keep doing what part we're doing, keep doing what doing put on offer, and what other people are doing to inspire us. And one day we'll get back there and we'll be glad of all the things we've done in the meantime, and realise we've come through it quite strong. So hopefully that sort of offers up my opinion. And my next question was from Dawn. She said, if I had, again, basically asking my opinion, if I had a choice, would I prefer face-to-face coaching or something online, or stroke device, an online coach, or something you might get for an online app or something like that? And basically, the shortest of answers, I will expand on it, is face-to-face is better in any situation, event, in any walk of life. If we're all a bit zoomed out now through meetings, and whilst I'm doing DOdaily for online and I want people to watch and look in, hopefully I can offer you something at your convenience. But all these Zoom conversations, we started with quizzes, we started with sort of Sunday get-togethers, and they all get a little bit too much. People are trying to sort of ebb in, and it's difficult when one person's talking and another. But thinking about coaching in particular, for me personally, I would want to be coached face-to-face, and I started my coaching now. I do the Run Leaders course by running the group. I've done the Run Leaders course, and I do run leading, and I do a bit of coaching through different sessions, and I'm looking to get my endurance coaching certificate. Lockdown's putting a stop to that at the moment, but I'm working on that. But I just want that personal touch. If I'm coaching someone, for example, I don't know whether their heart's in it. I don't know whether they really want to do it, what level they're at. Whilst you can give out some good advice online, WhatsApps and people sending you messages, and the things I do through dual running can send out a really positive and fantastic message, I can't get that same feeling back. So if you're face-to-face, if you're in the same presence, you can get a real feeling. I like to base my coaching a lot around motivation. I always say, and people tell me off for it a little bit, but I always say I'm not technically minded. Whilst I know a lot of information, I try not to sort of information overload. I try not to sort of pass it on in a way that people can't relate to. What I try to do is really motivate people. I try to work with beginners quite a lot and let the experienced runners kind of do it at their pace, do it however they want to do it, and really focus with beginners. And some of the groups I do, the City Slickers group in particular, I know some of those people wouldn't have responded to the real structured sort of coaching sessions. Whilst there's a lot of fantastic athletic clubs out there, they probably needed somebody who was going to sort of stand toe to toe with them and tell them when they're not pulling or whatever. And whereas a full-on coach, somebody who's got to look after athletes and people all gearing in the same direction, what I try to do is focus on the individuals, build up personal relationships, and really get a feel for what they want to achieve from it. And ultimately, it does boil down to having to get out there and do it. But there's ways you can deal with people. Some people you can be a little bit firmer with, or you can be a little bit softer on. You need to be a little bit softer on, because that's the approach they need. And that's sometimes the way I need it. I need to be sort of told that I need to do this, and reading something in a message or in a WhatsApp group's not always the best way for me to respond. Personally, anything we do, it's got to be fair. It doesn't have to be, but it's better when it's face to face. People are working from home right now, and whilst it's great in many ways because it offers time and it lets people do sort of different activities and is convenient for a lot of people, that personal touch of being at work and speaking to people face to face, I know Kay's missing it slightly. So looking forward that her work are looking at ways to sort of meet up and perhaps use the office one day a week. I don't know that's what they're doing, but again, we've still. What would be horrible for this whole situation is to lose all human contact. For years now, programs and projects have been put in place by government and sort of local organisations to put people together, to build communities. And this COVID situation has completely ripped that apart, and it'd be awful if that was to continue after, So for me personally, you only get a true sort of reflection of somebody if you're sort of in their presence. You can write. I see it every day in WhatsApp group. You can write a message and somebody can take it. You can say what you're doing and somebody might take that the wrong way. So again, with the coaching, if you keep just filling with information, people might just go, yeah, I can't be bothered today, and not really rub off. I keep saying, I keep meeting people, although I'm getting up early and it's my target, I keep arranging to meet people in the morning, because it's really important for me to have that obligation. Once I've dragged somebody else out of bed at 6 a.m. in the morning, then I've got a commitment, and I've got a commitment to that person, and I'm not going to let that person down, as much as it absolutely sort of kills me to drag myself out of bed. And you probably wouldn't disappoint the other person too much at 6 a.m. if I texted and said I wasn't doing it. I'm not going to do that. And it's about making myself accountable. And I think that's the point in all that. If you're face to face, you're fully sort of responsible and accountable for what you're doing, and you can really push, you can really say the right things, you can get a real feeling. Just an example of that, I ran a guy. A lot of the guys in the community ran with another guy who was doing an ultra marathon. He wanted to do that to replace his actual event that didn't take place because of COVID. And whilst I was running, I felt Ben, the guy doing it, he started to really struggle a little bit. And then he said to me after, I really struggled with that bit. And what I did, I let him run for a little bit. I let him do his thing. I let him sort of, because I know when I'm running, the last thing I want to do is somebody talking to me. But for the last mile of my sort of stage, I really sort of started shouting and being silly and messing about, just to distract him a little bit, just to get him through to that next stage. And again, it's just about working in different ways just to get people responding. And you can't do that online. You can't do that through an app. Like I say, whilst there's lots of fantastic sort of apps and online coaching and tips, I get a lot of my information online, so it's not a no completely, but it's just a fantastic way. Being in somebody's presence is always the best way to do anything, and I think there's quite a lot on that. There's a lot more I could say, but of course, after all this, despite taking this online now, the one thing I'm really, really looking forward to is getting back to them group sessions. Whilst I'm going to carry this on and keep welcoming people in, really want to get back into that group environment and get that feel for people again, and really sort of, I feel people come into their own in that group situation, and I can sort of come into my own in terms of the things I want to do. Looking at one or two different things coming up as well to sort of get smaller groups together, and that'll become clear shortly. But it's really important for us to keep working hard. I think throughout that, people are looking forward, and looking at different ways of doing things. It's all about just taking that one step at a time. Keep positive, keep real positive. And when you have those slumps, like me today, get straight back on it. Get back into what you do. Don't let everything sort of tie into one. That's the worst thing. If you sort of break your targets down, break your jobs down individually. Like I say, got back on it this afternoon with a meeting, with that little run, with the fact I've got to do DOdaily today, and I've really, really enjoyed it. And that's the questions today, guys. I've got perfect question. I wrote something down before I'd said all that, and it actually ties in really well now. So to leave you today, what I'm gonna ask, and it'd be great to get lots of comments. It didn't get that many last week because I felt, just looking back on reflection, just evaluating myself, I felt there might have been slightly negative, that question. So real positive question today. What is the thing you're most looking forward to returning to post-lockdown, post-restrictions? So I've said to you, I'll put mine out there. I can't wait to get back into the City ground in with 30,000 people singing the song we all sing, More Looking Tired, before the game. Like I say, I feel it's going to be very emotional. But that, I just keep picturing that. I keep picturing that scenario. I keep thinking, when we get back there, it's going to be absolutely amazing. I think you're going to see grown men cry. Probably myself. Not really. Definitely not. Anyway, yeah, so that's what I'm really looking forward to. So what are you really, really looking forward to? Post it up in the comments. Use any of the videos throughout the week. Keep liking and subscribing. I really, really appreciate that. I'm really going to give it a push now. I'm looking at different ways to sort of boost what I'm doing. So if you can, check out a couple of the old videos. John in particular, that one with Helen, she laid it out really clear in what was happening with part one. Check out some of those videos. Keep liking, keep subscribing, keep hitting that button and keep commenting. Send me a message. There's at DOdaily.org.uk if you'd like your question to be anonymous. Sorry. And I'll be back in the morning with Wake Up to Walk. I'm hoping to get out somewhere. Apparently the wind's really picking up, so don't know how that's going to work out, but regardless, I'll be up and about doing my activity somewhere new. Hopefully I can do the video outside as well. So until then, we'll be looking forward to the weekend, and I'll be setting that Saturday selfie challenge as well. Just doing it. Take care, guys.